Hey there everybody, how you doing? I am Francis and welcome back to another Sonic Adventure 2 Is It Possible video. I know I said after my Eggman video, I did say I probably wasn't going to do another one of these, but I recently got requested to do this challenge with Shadow, so that is exactly what we are going to be doing today. Sonic Adventure 2, as you guys know, is a game where Sega introduced us to Shadow the Hedgehog. But unfortunately, we barely get to play as him since he only has 4 stages and 4 bosses, 5 if you count the final hazard. So today, we're going to change that, and we are going to see if the ultimate life form is ultimate enough to beat Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on his own. Can he do it? Let's find out together as we dive into the Dark Story. The Dark Story begins in Iron Gate, and unfortunately, we're off to a bit of a rough start. As I demonstrated in the Metal Sonic Challenge, Shadow can't get past the first gate with a spin dash. Unlike Metal Sonic though, Shadow can actually get past the next Iron Gate if he uses a spin dash down the hallway. Once you ride this elevator to the bottom, you come across another Iron Gate. Luckily, this one has no collision on the left side, so you can jump right through that. But unfortunately, after this gate is another gate, and this one is solid, and there's no way to get past it. There is no way to jump through it. It's completely solid. So sadly, Shadow can't go any further. But he could get further than Metal Sonic, so we can take that as a win. You normally fight Hotshot as Shadow, so we can skip this since we already know that Shadow can do this. Remember how Metal Sonic could use the Black Diamond Shield to warp to the Big Oasis? Well, sadly, Shadow doesn't have a Black Diamond Shield and is incapable of activating Chaos Control. And the turtle, just like with Metal Sonic, does absolutely nothing. So we had to find the 3 emerald pieces in the small oasis. I had to get the emeralds also to spawn on the lower levels because how high Shadow can go is limited since his only way to go up is to climb these statues. I got the first 2 pieces easily, but the 3rd piece kept spawning in a big oasis. I thought this was impossible. And no matter how many times I died and relocated the emerald pieces, it kept spawning in a big oasis. But after 1 hour and 30 minutes, I got lucky and the final emerald piece finally spawned in a reachable location, and Shadow was able to beat Dry Lagoon without the big oasis. So good job, Shadow! Remember how easily Metal Sonic plowed through Sand Ocean? Since Metal Sonic is a faster Shadow with a higher jump, you would think that Sand Ocean is possible as Shadow, right? Wrong! So I did exactly what I did as Metal Sonic. Jump into the sand and feel my way to the goal, and then go quick through the wall and fall back into reality. And then I realized the problem. Shadow has a lower jump, and this ledge is just out of Shadow's reach. We were so close to the end, so close, but we can't reach it because of a ledge. Shadow's greatest enemy, ultimate life form, stopped by a ledge. If only Shadow could use Sonic's balance bracelet, this would be possible. What happened in Sand Ocean really stings, but luckily up next we have Rocket Highway, which is Shadow's first stage. So we already know Shadow can do this, so we can blast through this at hypersonic speed and lift our spirits back up. So far with these challenge videos, egg quarters has been possible with every character, and that's no different for Shadow. The first key was on this treasure where you get Regis Pink Nail. The second key was hidden in this room here. It was hard to reach as Shadow, but after a few attempts we finally got it. And the last key was circling these pillars, which Shadow had to use these boxes to get up. The perfect streak for egg quarters continues, guys. I'm convinced that unless you're a mech, Lost Colony is impossible since only the Vulcan King can destroy the dynamite packs. So let's just get out of here without even trying, okay? Weapons Bed, just like Mission Straight, I'm convinced is a stage that is possible with every character except maybe Mechnus Eggman. Our first obstacle are these metal boxes at the beginning. Since we don't have the flame ring yet and we don't have Metal Sonic's jumping height, this could present a problem, but luckily for us there is a way to get past it, and it involves this chow box. You use this chow box to get on the railing, and you slowly and carefully walk across the railing to reach this checkpoint here, and then you continue on your way. This jump here, as you guys know, was tricky as Metal Sonic, but Shadow has a spin dash, so we have no problems here. there isn't too much else to say about this stage. It is honestly a fun stage. So we can just grab that gold ring and move on. You know the drill by now, Sonic doesn't even put up a fight, making him easy pickings for the ultimate life form. Ah, God, security hall. I spent 30 minutes trying to beat the stage, and 28 of those minutes were trying to get the goddamn final Chaos Emerald. I got the first 2 Chaos Emeralds rather easily. The first emerald was in the spike tank that greets you at the beginning, and the second one was in the scum robot sleeping on the job. The last Chaos Emerald took me 28 minutes to get because it kept appearing either in safes or up in the middle of the switch room where Shao cannot reach due to having a low jump. Eventually, I got the last Chaos Emerald to appear floating around in these fans. I had to jump for it as it flew by, which was a nightmare, but it was the only place I could get it in a reachable area. It took me a while, but eventually I did manage to pull it off. I always hated Security Hall, and all these challenges are doing is making me hate it even more. Flying Dog is basically hot shot except for he never lands, so we already know Shao can do this, so we can skip this. We can also skip White Jungle and a battle with Sonic since we already know Shao can do these. Route 280, we're forced to play as Rouge no matter who we select in the character select mod, so we can skip this, as well as Skyrail. Eggom, as we know, is a mech-only boss, so I'm not even going to give this a try and we are going to move on. Mad Space is possible, but I swear I only beat it out of dumb luck. You want to avoid going to the Spherical Planet as Shadow because you're never getting off that planet since Shadow can't reach the rocket on top of the structure. So all the high up emeralds are out of the question. So that means we gotta hope that the emeralds appear on the other 2 planets, and I really lucked out on this one. The first emerald was beside some grass on a half planet. The second emerald eventually appeared on a capsule planet where I could easily jump to it. And 20 deaths later, the final one appeared under the starting station. Just wait until we get to the treasure hunting levels in the hero story. Oh boy! Like any other character fight, Sonic won't fight back, so let's quickly put him out of his misery and move on. Since Cosmic Wall is a giant bottomless pit and the whole stage is an ascending stage instead of a descending stage, it should be no surprise to anybody that Shadow can't do anything in this stage. Sonic once again is easy pickings, but he will delay his death by stopping time for the final 3 hits. Both Final Chase and the final battle with Sonic you normally play as Shadow, so not much to say here, so we can move straight on to the hero story. City Escape is a Sonic stage, and since Shadow is a Sonic copycat, we already know Shadow can do this, so let's move on. And we can also skip Bigfoot since Bigfoot is no different from Hotshot. Wild Canyon is the only treasure hunting stage that doesn't ask for too much from you, so it should be to no surprise that Shadow can find the pieces of the Master Emerald in this canyon. The first Master Emerald piece was inside this cube thing, the second emerald was in this box, and the last emerald was circling the pillars near the beginning. There isn't really much else I can say about this, so we can just move on. Just like in the Dark Story, Sonic puts up no resistance, so we can skip this. Prison Lane is still impossible, but something happened while playing as Shadow that surprised me. So I was thinking, okay, Omochao didn't work and a Black Diamond Shield didn't work, but what if I tried the light speed attack and, well, no, that didn't work. When I let go of the button, Shadow just kinda freaked out. But here's where my brain came up with another idea. When I revel with Spin Dash, I charge up energy, so I was thinking maybe I could destroy that beetle with the energy that I charge up. It didn't work the first few times, but after a number of attempts, it actually worked, and I couldn't believe it. Even rewatching this footage, I still can't believe this actually worked. For the first time, I got past the first room as a non-mech character. However, that trick won't work on this guard robot, so we gotta use these boxes to take a higher route. This next gate, even if you get the light attack charge to destroy this robot, you won't be able to destroy the other ones. So what you want to do is stay high and use a spin dash to cross the gap. You follow the stage like you normally would after that until you reach here, and I'm sad to inform you guys that this is as far as Shadow could go. I tried a couple of times charging up the light speed attack, but that robot is just out of reach. So Prison Lane is still impossible as Shadow, but with this much progress, we can take this as a win still. Battle Harbor, the Battle with Sonic, and Green Forest are all Sonic stages. We know Shadow can do this, so we can skip these all. Just like with Mechanus Tales, I believe deep in my soul that Pumpkin Hill is doable as Shadow, but I just couldn't pull it off. I have 3 35-minute recordings dedicated to the stage alone, and I couldn't do it in any of those 3 recordings. As always, I got the first 2 emeralds rather easily, but the last one kept appearing in the ground. I got it to spawn where I got it as Metal Sonic, but Shadow unfortunately can't get to the top of Church Mountain. I'm sorry, I tried my best, but I couldn't finish Pumpkin Hill, even though I feel deep in my soul that it is possible. Just like with Weapons Bed, Mission Tree asks for very little from Tails, so it's no surprise that Shadow can do this. I don't have much to say about this stage since it's pretty much business as normal, so let's just move on, okay? Oh, Aquatic Mine. How I hate you. This stage was possible as Shadow, but it was only possible because I got really lucky. First off, Shadow has a lower jump than Metal Sonic did, so the top level is once again a no-go. I got the first emerald in the ghost room, but had to get crushed afterwards because there is no way out for Mr. Ultimate Lifeform. The second emerald was beside this minecart, and now we move on to the last emerald. And I don't know how I managed to pull this off. So what I was supposed to do was enter this room by swimming through an underwater pathway, but I somehow managed to quip through this platform, and luckily I landed where I needed to be. The emerald was right there, but it was out of reach. What you're supposed to do is do an upward spiral attack to get it as Knuckles, but as you guys know, Shadow has no such maneuver, so he has to find another way to get up there. I spent a lot of time trying to do a spin dash and jumping at just the right moment, only to find out I don't need to do that. All I need to do is jump at the right moment once I land on the platform, and it'll catapult me straight up to the emerald. So yes, Aquatic Mine was possible as Shadow, thanks to a lot of luck and the Sonic Gods smiling upon me. Route 101, once again we're forced to play as Tails, so we can skip this. What is with Hidden Base? Honestly, every time I come to the stage in these challenges, it gets worse and worse with every challenge. I swear, this stage has become the bane of my existence. So this stage starts off the same way it did with Battle Sonic. You jump into the sand, you maneuver yourself around with constant homing attacks until you get here, and you return to solid land, and then we get here. As you know with Metal Sonic, we could easily get past this by jumping and quipping through the upper wall using a homing attack. Shadow on the other hand has a lower jump and gets caught in a constant pulling up and falling when you try to stand on these doors, so we gotta do something else to get past this. I couldn't figure this out on my own, so I looked up what to do here and I found a video of this stage by Brian PSO, and what I have to do here is absolutely ridiculous. I couldn't believe what my eyes were showing me. So what you have to do here is you have to jump down and grab this pulley, and once it pulls you all the way up, you jump off and you land on top of the pulley, and from here you have to do a spin dash and jump with perfect timing to quip through the wall. And when you pull this off, you'll either land in the sand or on the platform. If you land in the sand, and this goes from this part of the stage going forward until the end of the stage, you have 2 options. 1, you can restart the level, or 2, let Shadow die in the sand, which crashes the game, meaning you have to restart, so either way, you're just restarting. But if you happen to land on the platform, the camera won't go through the wall and you'll have to reach the pulley without seeing what you are doing, so you're still in danger of falling into the sand. Once you're close enough to the pulley and grab onto the pulley, the camera will actually lock on the Shadow. Once you use the pulleys to reach the top, once again you have to jump off and jump on top of the pulley and jump through the wall, and this is more frustrating than that spin dash we had to pull off earlier. Remember how these doors you can't stand on or pull yourself up on? But apparently there is a way. If you spin dash and you jump into this wall at a certain angle, you can actually pull yourself up and stand on it. This took me roughly 25 minutes, but I did eventually finally pull it off. Once you're in this maze room, what you have to do is spin dash jump from this cliff over the next wall, and from here, you use this pod to jump onto the next wall and land on this platform. I ended up falling, soft locking myself, and I didn't hit myself enough to do everything all over again. So I'm just going to use clips from Brian's video of beating this stage as Shadow. So from where I fell, you're supposed to stand on this block and spin dash yourself over to the next checkpoint. From here, you have to use a technique that I learned later on while I was in Death Chamber. You spin dash at the feet of the statue and you'll get launched up high. Try to land on this pulley and homing attack yourself through the wall. From here, you continue the stage as you normally would until you get here. If you perform a homing attack off the top of these things, you can quit through the wall. Here I have no idea what is happening because I'm not the one playing. It sounds like Brian landed in a quicksand and was able to get out of this, so I guess that negates what I said earlier about falling being a death sentence. Once again, from here, once you can see what you are doing, you do that spin dash technique again on the foot of the statue to get up here and use the spring to clear hidden base as Shadow. I couldn't do this myself. I gave it 3 good attempts on 3 separate days. But big shout out to Brian PSO for proving to us that it is possible to beat Hidden Base as Shadow. I thought Pyramid Cave was going to be a problem without the bounce bracelet, but thankfully the bounce bracelet is not exactly needed here. When you hit something with a homing attack, you get bounced up a bit, which is high enough to climb up these ledges. The only exception was here, but you can easily go around this. So not only is Pyramid Cave possible as Shadow, but it is also possible to beat the Pyramid Cave without the bounce bracelet. If no one else is going to say it, I will. Besides Pumpkin Hill and Wild Canyon, all of Knuckles' stages suck, and this place is no exception to that. Putting that complaint aside, however, Death Chamber is actually possible as Shadow. The first key was located over the fire in the starting room. The second key was over this torch on a wall, and getting this was a little bit tricky. You have to jump onto the torch, but not too much that the fire burns Shadow, and then you jump for the key. Now we move on to the final key. After a number of deaths, I got to respawn in the central room where it was for Metal Sonic, but the problem is that Shadow can't get up to the higher rooms due to his low jump. This is when I started trying things and discovered that spin dashing on a statue's foot technique that I discussed in Hidden Base. So from here, I could get on one of the pillars and grab that pesky key as it floated by. If you saw my Metal Sonic video, you know that Shadow can in fact defeat King Boom Boo, and if you haven't seen my Metal Sonic video, once King Boom Boo is in the shadows, you can bring him out of hiding using a somersault. Since Shadow is faster than Knuckles, it's easier for him to get multiple hits on Boom Boo. From here we move on to the Egg Golem, which is a Sonic fight, so we already know Shadow can do this, so we don't really have to talk about this and we can just move on. Just like with Metal Sonic, Eternal Engine is impossible with Shadow. You can make it here to the end, and then you get trapped and you can't do anything. So I decided to try again, but this time with a plan in mind. What if I use the light speed attack? Could it destroy the parts of the power supply, or would it at least let me clip to the gold ring? Well, no. None of those happened, but I did learn something interesting. There is a gust of wind that prevents me from falling here, so I was thinking maybe I could use this to my advantage, and well, no, I couldn't. I got hit by projectiles and ended up dying. But this was a neat discovery that I didn't know about, and I felt like it was worth sharing. Even outside these challenge videos, the final Knuckles stage is a living nightmare. But it was possible as Shadow. At first glance, it looked impossible because Shadow couldn't get off the ground level due to his low jump, but I did learn a way. If you do a spin dash on this thing and jump at the right moment, you'll get a little extra height to get you up to the higher sections where you can find a rocket and climb the stage. The first emerald piece was inside this artificial chaos, And the second one was floating around this thing. And just wait until you hear what I had to do to get the last emerald. The only place I could get this emerald in a grabbable state was on this tower. So what I had to do was go up high, do a leap of faith, and pray to God that I land on the tower. After a number of failed attempts, I finally managed to pull it off, getting that last emerald. I never ever want to visit Meteor Herd ever again after this. After that, we get a battle with Sonic where Sonic is clueless, so once again, we'll put the fastest thing alive over his misery and move on. Crazy Gadget. The first Sonic stage that is possible as Shadow, but not by doing things the same way Sonic did. Everything is going great until you reach this block puzzle part. But once you go on the green block, we got ourselves a problem here. Shadow can't bounce, so he can't climb this ledge. So Shadow has to find another way. So I checked YouTube and I looked around for a little bit, as I normally do when I'm stuck in these challenges, and I learned something that I didn't know about this area. These lasers serve as a wall, true enough, but if you do a spin dash at the right spot, you can take a shortcut straight to the yellow block. From here you do the puzzle as you normally would and finish off Crazy Gadget. So it was possible as Shadow, but a little extra work was required. Sonic just won't quit, will he? Again, he is helpless against the ultimate lifeform, but he will delay his death by stopping time for the final 3 hits. Just like with Crazy Gadget, Final Rush is beatable as Shadow, but we gotta put in some extra work since Shadow can't bounce. So we go through the stage like we normally do until we get here. Metal Sonic, as you guys know, got stuck here since he can't bounce, and Shadow can't either, but Shadow has something that Metal Sonic does not have, and that is a spin dash. So I tried a spin dash and jumped off the side. I did die, but I did see the tunnel, so I did it a couple more times because this felt like it was very possible. This jump was hard to pull off, but I eventually was able to make it. From here, it was business as normal until we make it to the end of the stage, where we run into the same problem that we just struggled to get past, and spinning off the top of the tunnel this time will not work. So I got stuck here, and dying here was more annoying than last time because of how far back the checkpoint was. I looked up on YouTube hoping to find out a way since everything I was trying to do was failing, and I found a video from Irregular Zero about beating this stage as Shadow. What you have to do is perform a spin dash, but not from the top of the tunnel like I was trying. No, from this tiny railing here. After 25 painful minutes of trying and failing, I was not able to pull off this spin dash jump. I gave up, and just like with Hidden Base, here's Irregular Zero's clip of how it is supposed to be done. So Final Rush is possible as Shadow. I just couldn't do it myself though, but boy howdy, did I try. The final battle with Sonic we can skip because nothing literally changes from the Dark Story version of this fight. Now we can jump into the last story, but this ain't gonna take us too long to talk about. So in Canyon's core, Shadow runs into the same problem as Metal Sonic and Mech's Tails. We can't get past the first room. Next up is the Bio Lizard. We can skip this since you normally fight him as Shadow anyways. And lastly is the final hazard, which we have no choice but to play as Super Sonic and Super Shadow. Since Shadow is a part of this fight, I guess we can say it's possible for Shadow to beat the final hazard. And that is the end of this challenge. Oh boy, honestly, this challenge was a lot harder than I expected when I began. I thought it would be the same as Metal Sonic since Shadow is an easier to control version of Metal Sonic with a weaker jump and a spin dash. But boy oh boy, was it much harder than I expected. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for joining me. I don't think I'll be doing another Is It Possible video because there really isn't anything left that I can do that nobody else has done. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. But until then, have a nice day. Bye everybody.